go.
Okay. Some of the other things that the pit bosses and the dealers look for are other ways of cheating, and some of the ways of cheating is that if you're not allowed to touch the cards, and if you do, you're only supposed to touch it with one hand. Anything that you touch, only one hand. Another thing is you have to keep the dice and the cards above the table at all times. The third thing that they look for is that you can't disturb the other players when they're in the middle of their game. You can't touch the chips after placing your bet. Once you place the bet, you're done. And you can't collect your winnings until everyone else was paid. You can't reach across the table to place a bet. You have to have the dealer do that for you. And the last thing is never place anything other than the chips on the table.
Cheating in the casino. Some of the ways people cheat, the dealer will use sleight of hand. So he tricks you into thinking he's drawn the next card when he really hasn't. He's just looking at the next card, and he uses one of his tells to signal his accomplice at the table what he needs to do to win the game. Dice cheating. There are 3 different kinds of dice cheating, really. There's hot dice, which is loaded with weights that make certain numbers roll when you roll it in craps. There's mercury-loaded dice, where they take a drill and they drill into a little chamber at the bottom of the dice and fill with mercury, and that creates an uneven distribution of weight, which makes it roll when you want to roll in craps. Snowballs. Those are really easy to spot, so I'm not sure why people use them. It's just a blank red die, and then you put the dots on the dice. So you can only, maybe the whole die is loaded with 3s, and dealers can see that right away. So that's just a picture of some snowballs. That's pretty easy. Concealed chip cup is also pretty easy to spot, but it's basically just a shell of a chip. Chip stack in a certain denomination. The player comes down, he's working with the dealer, he puts it down as his bet. If he loses the hand, the dealer takes it and stacks it in the chip stack of a higher denomination, and then he fills that chip cup up. And then when the player wins back his $15, the dealer will give him back his $30 in the chip cup. Or if he wins, he just wins what he bet with the chip cup. It's just a picture of a chip cup. You can see it's hollow. It looks pretty easy to spot because it looks like a perfectly stacked of chips. The blackjack card counting computer is widely considered the most ingenious invention ever in the casino because it was built in 1970 by Keith Taft, and it's basically a really small computer, and computers didn't really come around into households until the 80s and 90s. So, 3-piece machine consists of a computer belt pack nicknamed George, control built into the shoe, and Buddy Holly LED glasses. The shoe control, the player would sit at the table, and I guess he would type with his toes what the cards were. Certain code would correspond to different things. It would send a signal to the belt pack, and then this computer belt pack named George, it computed the best blackjack strategy for that hand, and then it would send the signal up to the LED glasses, which is the Buddy Holly LED glasses, real thick rimmed glasses. They would have flashing LED lights on the inside that would tell you what to do, hit, stand, split, whatever. Keith Taft invented the blackjack card computer in 1970, finished in 1972. At first he didn't really incorporate card counting because he didn't really know what that was. Then after he went to the casino in 72 through 75, he was losing miserably with his computer because it was just calculating good strategies. Good strategies could be better by card counting. And then he read a book on card counting, incorporated that into a machine in 1977, made the computer smaller, named that one David, and then took it back to the casino and started winning big. Then he met Ken Houston. They cut a deal where he and Ken Houston's team would take 10% of the profits for the card counting computers that they would use, 16-man team, for one over 100,000 in the first 5 days using the card counting machines. And then once Keith Baff realized it would work, he started making these machines, and he sold them for $10,000 a piece and would teach people how to use them. The machines were discovered in the casinos in 1985, and they were banned. Security and online gambling. Online gambling is fairly new, so there's not really much security going on. There's not a lot of physical security you can do with online gambling anyway. It's hard to track cheaters. The dangers, credit card and identity theft, because you have to give your credit card number to obviously pay for it on the internet. Worms, some computer programmer can put a worm or a virus into the program that you have to download to play the game, and then it's actually computer and social personal information. And most often the danger is fraud of someone taking your personal information from your credit card. Websites use SSL encryption to ward off hackers. They set up safe banking options with them that are so highly encrypted no one will get into it, and they use anti-fraud detection, Norton antivirus, such stuff like that. Griffin Book. Griffin Book is also known as the Black Book. It contains pictures and information of anyone suspected of cheating and or your accomplice and or someone you might be friends with and walked into the casino with one night. It's published by Griffin Investigations, which is a very small private investigation firm. It's frequently wrong because, like I said, it's very small. There are only 6 people that currently work on it, and they're all pretty much family. So they rely on their trusted secondary sources. So if a dealer hears something at another casino, he can report it to Griffin, and basically that person can be branded a cheater if Griffin thinks they're a trustworthy dealer. And people don't have to be convicted of cheating to get the Griffin Book. They can just publish a picture if they want to, because like I said, they're a private book, they're a private company. Griffin can get any kind of circumstantial bias, weak evidence. They brand you a cheater, you're always a cheater in the investigation. This is a quote from a book called Beat the Players by Bob Season. He was a really good card counter, took a lot of money from the casinos. He wrote this: it's a mom and pop organization. Its payroll totals maybe 6. As of the close of 2005, there were Beverly Griffin, 2 full-time investigators and clerical staff. That's it. All the terror and terrorization felt by advantage gamblers and having their information disseminated throughout the world stems from these 6 people. Another quote: one of their investigators recently admitted that information in his file came from a person at one casino, forwarding on a security alert to a friend at another casino, passing on to a source and then forwarded to Griffin. As you can see, it went through 4 people before it ever got to investigator. Robert Griffin, one of the Griffins, obviously. He then bossed the idea that a gaming licensee may have any agenda concerning advantage gamblers, and any reason why it was entering. Obviously, the casino definitely has a reason to report something to Griffin. Investigation firm, they don't want to lose money because they're banned at gambling. It's not illegal, but it's frowned upon. So, the end.